Hello, my name's Andrew, and today we're doing a long-term comparison review between the vivobarefoot Primus Trail FG and the Primus Trail Knit. So these are two of vivobarefoot's best trail running and hiking, just kind of all-around shoes. And I get comments on them all the time because they're actually really similar, but they do have some key differences. So yeah, let's talk about it. Up front on the Primus Trail FG, this is one of the biggest differences. It's more of a medium width, so you don't have quite as much room. And one of the reasons for that is that it's a more protective shoe. So you can see that the material around the toe box just has a little bit more durability to it. This is a great shoe to use if you're going through super rocky terrain and you're worried about hitting the front of your foot, hitting the side of your foot, and just durability in general. But it just doesn't give the shoe quite as much stretch to it. And in terms of the bends, I find that you can get some crimping just like around here, just because the material is harder and that's just kind of what happens. But I do like that vivobarefoot has, actually you can see it on the other side better, it's like a little divot here. It does help with that. So I think it's not too much of a problem, at least for me, but if you have wider width feet, I think that this shoe might not be as good a fit for you as the Knit, which we're gonna talk about. But yeah, in terms of some of the other features that I really like for this version, it's got an open mesh upper. So also if you're in hotter conditions, this works really well. Or if you're doing like faster hiking or running, you just get more airflow through the mesh than you do for the Knit. They both got a quick lace system here, which is really nice for trail running because if you have a stone in your shoe, you can just whip them off really fast and then tie them again. But the one thing I don't like about either shoe really is that there's kind of like, what do you do with this extra lace? They give you almost like too much lace in my opinion. And the FG has a slightly better system because it's got a hook and you can just kind of hook it on the front of the shoe like that. But then you've also got like this extra here. So what I usually do is kind of just like thread it under there. Oftentimes I won't even use the hook. You can just do that, you know. Just wrap a couple of times around. It works really well. I find these laces, this kind of like flat eyelet system that vivobarefoot has works really well. I never have any problems with this shoe like coming loose. So it's kind of like a best of both worlds because you can get it on and off really fast, but then it also cinches well. In back, you've got a little bit more padding than you do in the Knit version, just around the collar of the shoe. It has a really good lockdown. Your foot kind of sits in here. You can see that it sort of like tapers in there just to keep your heel from moving up and down. So yeah, it's a superb trail running shoe in terms of lockdown. There's a lot of reinforcement all around the shoe and it just kind of has harder materials, like I said. So it's, yeah, the shoe can take a lot of punishment. I've been on some really rocky terrain, both hiking and trail running with it, and yeah, there's no problem. Also, the glue seems to be pretty good. I don't have any issues with it so far. Nothing's really separated from the sole, which is good. But I think if there was an issue, it's probably going to be right around here where the shoe bends, because a lot of times that can happen with a little bit harder materials. But yeah, no problems yet. In terms of the sole, it's got the FG original sole. This is a really versatile sole for both firm ground. I mean, it's mostly meant for firm ground, but there's enough depth to the lugs. They're 5.5 millimeters, so it's a good versatile sole because it provides, you can hear, some good protection, but then there's enough space in between the lugs to grip on some semi-wet terrain. Obviously, if you're going up really slippery hills and it's super wet, then vivobarefoot's like SG sole would probably be better, but it does get clogged up more. So in general, the FG original is what I use for most of my hiking and trail running. In terms of the feeling of it, it's still a very light shoe, even though it does give you some protection. It's not quite as agile as like Vibram 5 Fingers that's like 4 millimeters, but you do get some more grip and protection. So yeah, it's a really nice middle of the road, just like do everything shoe. You can go on roads as well with this sole. It feels a little bit clunky, but you know, especially as you wear the tread down a bit and it gets more like 4.5 millimeters, it starts to feel really nice on roads. And you know, certainly for walking, it's totally fine. I go to the grocery store every day wearing this sole and there's a lot of pavement sections and concrete and stuff like that, and it works fine. You know, I just wouldn't use it as like your main road running shoe. So yeah, that's the FG, but let's talk about the Knit version. I like this version better for most use cases because I find it to be a little more comfortable. There's more width. This is more like a true wide up front. And then because it has more stretchy material, you know, you could even get close to extra wide with this shoe because, yeah, as you can see, like you just get a little extra width there. But you still have some good breathability. There's a bit of perforation here, especially as it flexes, it opens up a little bit more. So it can still work in warmer weathers, but yeah, the mesh is definitely the best for super hot weather. It feels really cozy under your foot. You can wear these barefoot if you want to, although I usually wear Injinji merino wool toe socks just because having something in between your toes just helps give you a little bit more breathability, especially if something like this or the original FG, which is a synthetic vegan material. I find it just doesn't breathe quite as well as natural material, so I like having a wool sock in there. But I don't know, they're really comfortable if you do like to wear your shoes barefoot. Same lacing system up at the top. Like I said, these hold really well. I don't like the front of this because it doesn't have a clip and it's kind of annoying. Again, it just like hangs out there. I was like, what the heck am I supposed to do with this? But you know, you just put it up front, loop it around a couple times and it's no big deal. But yeah, laces hold really well. They've been really durable. I haven't had any tearing out of the laces or the cord, maybe I should call it. The back of the shoe is something that's a little bit different from the original FG. It's got this slip-in heel to it here, which is really nice for just sliding your foot straight in. There's not as much padding, but there is a little bit of extra padding here. It's hard to see because it's so dark, but I've also not had any problems with my heel slipping up and down in this shoe. It's great for trail running and faster hiking as well. I find it just feels a little bit more comfortable to wear barefoot than the original FG. Just because it's a little bit more roomy and the materials are just kind of softer and lighter overall. It's still got the protection on the side, but as you can see, it's just a little bit more flexible protection, a little bit lighter weight. So like I said, if you're gonna be on a really, really rough terrain, then maybe something like this would be, you know, the original FG would be preferable. But for most of my hikes and trail runs, the knit is fine and I just like the feeling of it better. I think it's also a glued sole, which I haven't had any problems with this one either, but I think long term, I think it's gonna hold up better because there's no crimping issues. You know, the material is softer, it can bend as your foot bends a little bit better than the original FG, which is, you know, something I really like about it. It's got the pull tab in the back. This is really nice for slipping the shoe on and off. It's not strictly necessary, but it is helpful. I think maybe they're thinking with the original FG is that this is for more like technical hiking and trail running, so they didn't want something that would catch on the back. I don't know, but I never really missed it. It is just a little, you know, icing on top of the cake type of feature. Same sole on the bottom, the FG original, which, yeah, like I said, I really like it. You can twist it multiple times in any direction, which is great. Feels super springy. And yeah, anything else that I want to mention? I don't think so. I really like both shoes, but definitely the knit would be what I would go with unless you're looking for something for super hot temperatures or super rugged terrain. But yeah, if you want to support the channel, you can use the code FULLT10 for 10% off Vivo Barefoot with the referral links down below. Browse and filter more products on my website, barefootwear.org, or watch my zero drop transition video to learn more about barefooting. Finally, if you have a question about the Vivo Barefoot Primus Trail Knit or FG, or about barefoot shoes in general, let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time. Peace.